What's up, guys? It's your boy Darkskin, and today we're going to be talking about tanks. Now, this video is going to be for the people, because I know that 99% of people are going to pick a DPS team comp, and that's what they're going to run with, and that's what they want to do, and that's fine. But for the very, very small amount of people that want to genuinely just be a tank player, I want to be a tank player since day one. Late game, I'm going to be a tank. Mid game, I'm going to be a tank. That's what I want to do. This video is for you guys. Now, I'm not saying that this is the best case scenario or anything, but I know there are people that want to just be a tank. So for you guys, this is the video for you. Starting out, there are a couple of tanks you can start running right now. And the main two are going to be Meryl and Huma, right? Meryl and Huma are kind of like the premium tanks right now. There's not really anything else. And the thing about it is, Meryl has really good shatter, not that good charge. Huma has good shatter and charge, and they kind of combo into each other very well. Whether you're going into Meryl's one, into her spin, and then you go into Huma's dash attacks to you stack her passive, and then you go into Huma's one with the axe form, and then you switch back over to Meryl. They work really well off of each other. They provide a lot of defensive stats, especially Huma. Huma is going to be really, really good for this. But this is going to be the pretty much the things you're wanting to use right now as far as being a tank player. Now, I do want to talk about, generally, you only need 2 tanks. You want to make sure you do have bare minimum 2 tanks though, so you can get the tank passive, which gives you aggro and gives you damage reduction and gives you increased shatter. Because generally as a tank, you want to be the shatter unit, and you want to shatter as fast as possible. So minimum, you do want to have 2 tanks on the team. But if you do want to run 3 tanks right now, you can run NA as well. She is the SR with the she's the ice hammer. You can run her as well. So as far as that, you can, do it that way. Now, I do want to say that early on right now, there's not much of a need for tanks, but the need for tanks, or the want for tanks, is going to go up the farther we get into the game, because having aggro on a boss so that your DPS can do as much DPS as possible without having to worry of taking damage is going to be such a big thing later on in the game. So as far as right now, this is, running Meryl Huma is probably going to be the thing you want to go for. But once we get later on to the game, there are a couple of different options that you guys can go for. Now, I do want to talk about Mark, because Mark technically, or not technically, there's a very big chance that Mark doesn't come to the game. Because apparently, Mark and Bayuki, which is the other unit, they were like a collab for CN version. And like I said, most likely they will not come to global. So if Mark does come to global, as far as a tank player, he's a must summon. He is easily the best tank in the game. He's easily the best defensive unit in the game. But like I said, he probably won't come to global, and if he doesn't come to global, that's perfectly fine. The next tank I want to talk about is Saki Fua. Now, the reason why I want to talk about her is because, number one, she has one of the best shatters in the game, but number two, she does a lot of damage. So now, even though you're running a tank team, you can still dish out some damage, and you'll be pretty good off, right? You looking at Huma. Huma does good damage, but she's never going to out damage a DPS. Meryl does good damage, but she's never going to out damage a main DPS. Saki Fua, on the other hand, will out damage a main DPS. Now, like I said, as far as running a tank, you do not need resonance necessarily. And what I mean by that is, you don't need resonance in the sense of increasing your damage, but you do want to get resonance for the resistance. But it's not mandatory, but it's going to be a really, really big buff to your team. So if we look at resonance, right, with Saki Fua, she gets a 40% frost resistance. And even if you look at, Frigg, who has the nerfed version of it, it's still going to be 25% frost resistance. Now, let's say you're going up against a frost type enemy or frost boss. Having this frost resistance is going to be really, really good for you as a tank player, because it's going to allow you to take less frost damage. Now, like I said, it's not the end all be all. You don't have to run this, but getting resonance for the frost resistance or whatever resistance is going to be really good for a tank player. But I know tank players don't want to have every single character, or they may not summon for every single character, so it's not needed. But keep in mind, like I said, Meryl, Huma, NA, and Saki Fua are going to be the 4 general tanks of the game, and then mark if he comes out. So generally you want to run 2 tanks, and then you can run a DPS. One DPS I do recommend is going to be Lynn, simply because she has increased shatter and charge, and she can fit into literally any team. It doesn't matter if you, like, let's say you're running Saki Fua and Meryl, right? You're going to be getting the Frost passive. Now let's say you're running Meryl and Huma. She's still going to be getting a buff, even though it's 2 different elements on the team. So as far as a tank player, running 2 tanks is going to be mandatory, obviously, for the resonance, the defense resonance, and then after that you can build your team depending on who you want and how you want to run them. Like I said, one of the best case scenarios for you is going to be Saki Fua, simply because she does do a lot of damage, and then after that, we don't know if she's going to have Frost Resonance on Global or not, but if she does have Frost Resonance, running Saki Fua Meryl is going to be a really, really good tank combo, because now you have 2 tanks and you have Resonance, which is going to give you the Frost Resonance, and then on top of that you can run someone like Lynn, which is going to just give you the Frost buff as well. Now let's say you want to run Huma. If you do want to run Huma, that's perfectly fine. You can run Huma along with, you know, Meryl, Saki Fua, NA, whoever you want, and then you can run whoever you want as a third. As far as healers a little bit easier to manage, but as far as tanks, you're not really locked into one team, but you kind of are locked into one team because there's not that many tanks. If you are really wanting to be a tank, the best tank team is probably going to be Saki Fua, Meryl, so you get the Frost Resonance, and then Huma. Like pure tanky units. These 3 units are probably going to be the best tank team that you can come up with as far as 3 tanks. Now, like I said, you can't just rock 2 tanks. You can put a healer on the team, you can put a damage dealer on the team, or whatever you want. It's pretty much up to you on who you want to run and how you want to build your tank comp. Now, as far as stats, if you're trying to bulk up and be as tanky as possible, you want to run HP, Resonance, and then 2 elemental resist. So like HP resistance, I said resonance. You want to run HP, you want to run resistance, and then you can run like flame resistance and frost resistance. That's generally what you're going to run, you know, build on your gear if you are trying to be purely tank and have no offensive stats. I don't really recommend that unless that's just really what you want to do. But if you don't want to do that, you can just opt for like attack, like it shows right here, attack, resistance, HP, and then whatever force stat you want, whether it's like frost attack, or if you want to go crit, you can do that as well. But generally you want to always have resistance and HP on your tanks. After that, the last 2 stats can generally be up to you and how you want to, you know, do it as far as that. So anyway, I know a lot of people don't really want to be a tank, but some people do. And so for those people, I just wanted to give you a little bit of insight as far as the, you know, the tank units and what you guys are going to be looking at and, you know, wanting to run. So anyways, that is going to be it for this video. Be sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, comment down below, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. With that being said, I will see you guys next time. Peace.